I'm so excited. I know I said to some of you that we might finish Bloodborne in this stream. It might be the stream, or it might be the stream after, depending on how certain fights go and how much we talk about certain lore, but I do want to give proper time and attention to everything. So maybe consider this the penultimate episode, literally becoming the highlight of my weekends. I'm so glad! That's really nice to hear. I'm glad that you care as much as I do about this exciting world and this exciting lore. Also, I remembered my overlay commands this time. I had to look them up, but I forgot we were Broccoli Head. I heard some murmuring. Maybe it's that guy. It like sounds like it's coming from in here. I don't want to be here right now. I want to go over some things beforehand. Let's get right into it. Oh, I'm not sure I want to open with that. My first note is talk about when I was hyperfixated on someone and how it's something that can't be helped. Fine, we'll talk about it. I'm going to take off my stupid head for a second. About this head, as I was rereading the description, I think we are technically a plant, and it's the lumenwood type plant, and that it literally feeds phantasms. So I think what's happened is that I've like implanted a plant on my head, and then the phantasms are feeding off of it, and that's what's going on. Forgot to take it off. Okay. Yeah, let's do impurity, just like, I wanted to kind of do some stuff with Valter, so we'll just do that. Alright, fine, we'll talk about it. When I was talking last time about Gehrman having a hyperfixation on Maria, that's something that I've actually experienced myself, having a hyperfixation on a real person. And it sucks because it's not something you can do anything about. It just happens, and then you're in this throw of like, I love this person. I love everything they do, and I want to get to know them, and I want to, like, you do kind of obsess and you think about them, and you jump very quickly from, I don't know anything about this person, to, I love them. And there's a part of you that is aware that you're doing it, but you can't do anything about it. You kind of have to just wait for it to go away. And it can take months, weeks, days. In my case, it was months, like almost a year. And it really sucked, because there was a part of me that was aware that, like, I was feeling something irrational. And I also was aware that this wasn't fair to the other person that I was hyperfixating on. And in fact, that person and I don't talk anymore because I wasn't really able to not be weird about it. We didn't have much occasion to talk anyway. We kind of run in like different social circles and stuff, and they don't live anywhere near me, so like that's also, I guess, why we fell out of communication. But it sucks because you know it's weird and that you shouldn't be feeling it, but there's nothing you can do about the feelings. It just comes. And so you kind of just have to write it out and hope it goes away. And that's kind of how I've written Gehrman, as well as that he knows he shouldn't be feeling this way towards Maria. But he's waiting for it to go away, but it just doesn't. And then when he's able to be normal about it, later, like after Maria's death, after her suicide, it all comes back, and it just gets way worse, and it becomes this like horrible grieving process. It's gonna be rough as hell to work through, like letting go of the fixation when your brain just won't. It's hard because your brain betrays you, but there's a part of you that's conscious. It's like being possessed by like a demon of love or something. It sucks. So you just kind of have to. There's no medication you can take. You just have to have the fortitude to be like, okay, don't say that. That's weird. Don't say that to that person. But yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It sucks. And that's what I think Gehrman is going through. And I hope me having also experienced that kind of lends a little genuineness, a little truthfulness to how I portray him. We forgot to remember when we got the firing hammer badge from that beastly transformed person, but I never checked what that opened up. So let's see what it did. I think delayed rope Molotov is new. Special hunter tool crafted by the old Oto workshop. These Molotovs wedge into the ground when thrown behind one's back and explode on a timed delay. A shame that such a complex gadget must be sacrificed with each use of this inefficient hunter tool. Nevertheless, delayed Molotovs are cherished by the minority of hunters who prefer the tricksier's kill. This creation is one of the earliest known roots of the powder kegs. Oops. I think that's new. I don't think anything's new. Drawing from in real life experiences, the way you do really make your portrayal of Gehrman feel more raw and human. Thank you. Raw is a good word, I think. I'm putting a lot of vulnerability into my comic. I wanted to look at this real quick. Silver sword was employed by Ludwig. Forms a great sword. This is different. It's all wrapped up. I just thought for a moment, I was like, are they the same sword? No. This was found in the Tumerian dungeons. And because it's sword-shaped, I would assume that the Tumerians made it. Okay, yeah, it is a different sword. So I think the delayed rope Molotov is the only new thing from the firing badge. I'm not doing these in any particular order. But the Medeiros garb, the butcher mask and stuff like that, and it said that they grew up with a poisonous snake. It occurred to me, I was like, what if that is actually just a metaphor? I know there's a lot of wacky like magic in this world, but what if this is just a metaphor? And then it says when they discovered vermin even in their beloved snake, the younger brothers said to have murdered the older. And I'm wondering, what if that's a metaphor for discovering vermin in the older brother and then murdering the older brother for it? I don't know. There's no way we'll know. I also wanted to this is fun. I wanted to actually read the English translations of the lyrics of all the DLC bosses that we've encountered so far. We'll begin with Ludwig. I'm not gonna read the Latin, but it's kind of cool where like you have this like scary vocals that come in and they're like Lamna, and for a while I thought they were just saying like ah, but they're saying Lamna, which means blade. It begins that way. And so the lyrics for Ludwig in his first form, the Ludwig the Accursed, is blade, hunter, predator, blood in the moonlight, hunter, honorable lord, your sword is bathed in blood, O hunter with white robe, ah, you shall become the blades of the church, you neither lose your way at night nor become drunk with blood, blade. That reminds me a little bit about what Yama oath of the blades of the church, like you won't lose your way at night, you won't become drunk with blood. But in singing that and in this terrifying song, we clearly see that this wasn't true. Ludwig wasn't protected by this oath, or maybe he broke his oath, possibly because he had like that strange mist coming off of him that comes off of us when we take a beast blood pellet. And it was coming off of the abhorrent beast as well, the electric guy who was attacking us and could speak, and Ludwig could also speak. Maybe not only was Ludwig taking blood vials, which we take as well, to heal, so he had that danger going for him, but he was also possibly doping up on beast blood pellets to enhance his fighting abilities, which I noticed going back over the footage. The last time I battled Ludwig and actually won against him was when I used a beast blood pellet. And we got through his phase 1 really quickly. Because what they do is you fill up a meter, and the way you fill up that meter is you take the beast blood pellet and then you have a little meter above you, and then every time you hit the enemy, it fills that meter up. And the higher that meter goes, the stronger your attacks are. So it just like feeds itself through your violence and through your attacks, and when it's at its fullest meter, that's when you're at your most powerful, which to get to that point you would have to be the most aggressive. But I think it's kind of interesting that in my last battle with him I used a Beast Blood pellet and we did really well against him. But that's probably what kind of sent him over the edge into his beasthood. And then we have the transition, like, oh, Venator. And then he becomes Ludwig the Holy Blade. And the translation for that is, O hunter of the holy god, with a powerful white sword, you neither lose your way at night, nor become drunk with blood. With a powerful sword and robe, the Lord does not fall away from the path. Cursed beasts, cursed chains, become the blade of the honorable god. Cursed beasts, cursed chains, a lone person stands in the moonlight, become the blade. Again with that oath, but there are different elements to each of those songs. I wish I could play them for you so that we could listen to them, but the music kind of mimics the fight patterns. Ludwig the Accursed, in comparison, is a little more unpredictable, kind of low. It's got this strange cello or double bass. Oh, it might be a double bass. Solo on top of these really scary, dissonant voices. And then, in contrast, Ludwig the Holy Blade is, like, catchy. And a lot of people, when I've asked them, like, what is their favorite Bloodborne track, they say Ludwig the Holy Blade. That's the one's like da 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 da. And there's this YouTuber named Alex Mukala who is very inspiring and actually got me into like music producing. Not personally. I mean, I don't know him, but like watching his videos got me into music producing. But he described Ludwig the Holy Blade as kind of like this maddening waltz, because it's in 3/4, which is a waltz tone. So it's like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, which is a dance. And but what I've noticed, adding to that maddening aspect of the waltz, is that a lot of the choral pieces and the strings go up really high to a point where you typically ask that of virtuoso singers, but not really of chorus. So they're kind of intentionally strained, it feels like, kind of stretched in the same way that like Ludwig's form is stretched between beasthood and the arcane. You can feel that weird fucked up maddening waltz vibe even in the fighting itself. Yes, with his moves, I love fighting his second form because he hits harder, but it is a little bit more like a dance. I especially love dodging the light waves. There's like this kind of waltz rhythm to it in that same way. But he and the music take on a more human aspect, but it's still a dangerous aspect. It's like an antithesis to Maria's waltz vibes with her fight. I'm not sure it would be an antithesis. I think it would actually be quite similar. With Maria, are there lyrics? There are lyrics to Maria. Venator dolu. Ooh, interesting. So here are the lyrics for Lady Maria's track, and then we'll do The Living Failures in a moment, but since we're on this topic, her lyrics are: deceived haunter, forced to feel evil, to feel grief, an act of violence and roving blasphemers, go out hunting when asked to fight and die, wicked wraith, and of the evil blood, evil blasphemers, an act of violence, roving blasphemers, go out hunting when asked to fight and die, wicked wraith of the evil blood, evil blasphemers. Instance 2 has different lyrics. Hunter, how the secret beckons so sweetly, fearful death for you. I shall give you death. I shall give the sweet necessary death. A terrible death by my blood. Because of your wild curiosity you forget. Because your wild curiosity, it makes you oblivious. I shall give the sweet necessary death. I shall give you my sweet blood. Because the wild curiosity in your heart makes you oblivious. A terrible death by my blood for you. Because your wild curiosity, it makes you oblivious. We have kind of like two voices here. We have this narrator talking about Maria, and then we have Maria talking about us. Murderers, blood-craved fiends. Did that priest ever refer to us as blasphemers? Or to Bergenworth people as blasphemers? I don't remember, but it reminds me of that. Forced to feel evil, to feel grief. Deceived hunter. She was asked to do a certain task, it seems, that she was not prepared for, that she might have been deceived into doing. And it is what caused her to feel evil and to feel grief. And that evil deed that she was asked to do was probably an act of violence, and roving blasphemers go out hunting. And then there's like that frantic second part where she says the secret beckons so sweetly, and that we're not allowed to hear it. So it's kind of like she did something that she wishes to cover up. If you remember her music, it had this beautiful, what felt like a solo at first, but it was actually a duet between a cello and a violin, which that composer, Yuko Kitamura, she actually plays violoncello, and then she also sings. And so a lot of her pieces tend to have like violin solos, cello solos, and her voice in it. It's kind of this fanciful, we have first these like scary strings that are like and we're like, uh-oh, and she stalks slowly towards us, and it's like and then comes na 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 na, and like you just get this like romantic kind of fanciful, almost like royal kind of dance-like sound. The drop, as I call it, which is when the entire chorus comes in. We had no voices up to this point, and then suddenly I can never time it correctly, but I love when it's timed to, like, it builds up and she stabs herself and it's like da 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 da. There's like a slight slowdown, and then she pulls out and it's like bam, and like the voices come in, and it gives me chills every single time just listening to that track on its own. The drop. I like that drop more than any other drop I've heard in like Mozart's Requiem or Verdi's Requiem or like any other classical piece or any. It actually gives me chills every time. I have, like, literally I have yet to listen to it without seeing goosebumps on myself afterwards. After that, the music doesn't let go. It keeps building to a climax that never comes. We have this fanciful, bit more controlled, dangerous, but majestic, beautiful, deadly intro, and then when it drops and the voices come in, we suddenly have, like, there's no let up. There's just a never-ending nightmare. And that also coincides, that piece of music doesn't play. The first part only repeats and repeats while you're still in phase one. That never-ending nightmare doesn't play until she stabs herself and she releases her vile blood abilities, which I don't know if, since this is a nightmare, there are pieces of it that are exaggerated, I believe. Because if we look at this dream, this is not the same as the abandoned old workshop. It's different. There's this whole backyard area that does not exist in the real world. There's also this entire area over here that also doesn't exist. It looks like it's a field, but it's behind this gate, which, let's check if it opens. It still does not. That also doesn't exist in the real world. So what we can infer is that this dream is a little different from the real world, and thus nightmares might also be too. And especially looking at the beginning of the Hunter's Nightmare, which looks like Cathedral Ward, it can be inferred that certain aspects of our environment are exaggerated. I probably shouldn't have gone here. I'm done talking about what I just... Anyway, I'll show you real quick. But it's like, oh, normal. Just kidding. All these rocks and stuff, and then the buildings are sideways. As if they're on unstable ground, or as if they're in an unstable mind. While we're here, I should take care of something, though. And Simon's not here, of course. But, no, I'm not done talking. Calm down. Let's go back. No, we'll stay here for now. Oh my god, can you tell I have ADHD? Anyway, I think the corkscrew elements of the research hall are not factual. I think those were... I don't see any practical use in a building that is taking care of a bunch of patients and wants to keep them alive for their experiments, I don't see any practical use in there being stairs that lead to nowhere. What I think is that the corkscrew element kind of connects it to the clock tower, and it also kind of connects it inevitably to time. And I'm going to posit this real quick. Let's say working theory, and I'll come back to this. Let's say working theory is that this nightmare is hosted by Maria. Let's say that. Or certainly that she worked in the research hall, and maybe there's multiple hosts of this nightmare, or that is definitely affected by a lot of different minds. But her mind, I think, definitely affects the research hall area. And I think being connected to time, she felt like maybe she was running out of time, and that stairs leading to nowhere was kind of symbolic of her research and hitting a bunch of dead ends and not getting where she needed to go. It was kind of disorienting, even though I've been through that building tons of times. I'm not the best with navigation, so this is not a great example, but even though I've been through that building tons of times, I still get lost in that level sometimes. Like, I got a little lost when we were playing it last week. I think that's also supposed to make you feel how she felt in her research, that she didn't know where she was going. There were a lot of dead ends. She was often lost. I wanted to go over what would have happened if we had said yes to Ludwig. Tell me, good hunter of the church, have you seen the light? Are my church hunters the honorable Spartans I hoped they would be? And if you say yes, he says, ah, good, that is a relief. To know I did not suffer such denigration for nothing. Thank you kindly. Now I may sleep in peace. Even in this darkest of nights, I see the moonlight. And then he peacefully dies right then and there. And then we would have seen like a little glowing shape on him, which indicates an item we can pick up, and then we would go pick it up, and it would be the Holy Moonlight Sword. But then we would miss our interaction with Simon, I believe. I don't know if he appears there, but maybe like the arrow isn't through the head. I think last time I played, when I said yes to Ludwig, I often say no to him. I believe Simon was not there. So we would have, as far as I remember, we would have missed out on talking to Simon. So it's interesting that when we chose to answer Ludwig with the truth, we were also rewarded with more truth, because Simon told us more about what's actually going on here. The fact Ludwig could have had a peaceful death, like, yeah, we would lie and we'd miss more. It's interesting to think about the truth and the lie aspects of that statement of telling him, yes, you did well. There is an aspect of truth to that lie. The underlying message we would be telling him that is the truth is, you did the best that you could, and you believed you were doing good. You believed you were protecting people, and that is admirable. You did what you believed was right. So you are not a monster for that. That's like the underlying truth that would have been expressed to him, and that he would have heard, and that would have given him peace if we had said yes. But we didn't. I wanted to read the lyrics of the Living Failures. Found by those who were damned, this horrible appearance, found by those who were damned. Hail, hail the stellar, his future rest at the coast. Hail, Holy Maria, now we will cure the blood of the void child. Ah, a child and the coast. We're having that child mentioned again. What we know about children in Bloodborne is that every great one loses its child and yearns for a surrogate. We also heard baby cries when we were in the Nightmare of Mensis. And they were emanating from that one specific room, who I told you was the final boss, and so we didn't enter it. But we could see a baby carriage in there. But there seems to be another baby here. What we know of the children in this nightmare is that there was something involving an operating table and Master Willem, and then we heard a prayer from that priest who was cursing Bergenworth and praying for the poor wizened child and asking for mercy for that child. So I think we might be able to infer what happened. There was a child, probably an important child, who was operated on or possibly dissected by Bergenworth, and that's all we know for now. Oh, I wanted to talk about what we know about Maria's personality. Why I think she would not ever wear what the doll is wearing. Because we've seen what the night garb looks like on a man, but I need to show you what it looks like on a woman, because I think that'll give us a clearer picture. Look away. Wait, no, you can look. I'm gonna go back to the... Don't... This was so stupid. Why did I do this? Don't look at anything. Close your eyes. Okay, you can open them. Don't look at anything. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Keep them closed. Keep them closed. I'll know if they're not. Okay, you can open them. Why did I do this? This is so stupid. Oh my god, don't look. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. Don't look. Okay. That doesn't matter. But I'll show you what this is what the women's knight's garb looks like. It's got like a beautiful skirt. Got this long kind of half cape. It's got this, like, don't look at corset. But yeah, definitely like more feminine. It's got different like sleeves. You can't really see it because I'm in lumen wood. But that is what... Ignore everything you saw except for the knight's garb, please. This was so stupid. I should have made sure that I was not in a... Oh my god, I'm so disappointed with myself. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back. Erasing all that was seen from my mind, except for the knight. It's so beautiful, no disappointment with something. Okay, it is beautiful. I want to base like my wedding dress off of it. Wedding outfit, whatever. Okay, look at this. Look at her outfit. I would say it's a lot closer to the men's knight's garb than the women's. Right? So she was a little mask, while also being very feminine, which I think reads as very bisexual. But that's why I think she would absolutely not wear what the doll is wearing. I don't see her wearing anything high femme, because she could have had this beautiful knight's garb that was like the women's style. It would traditionally probably be made in women's style for her, but purposefully she's wearing something more mask. I also want to talk about in the research hall when the patients are saying like, I promised to do good, I'm sorry I failed. Maybe this kind of reveals some of the darker aspects of Maria and her care for them, because all these characters are very flawed. Gehrman and Maria are my favorite characters in Bloodborne, but they are far from innocent. For Maria, she's known as like a sense of comfort, of course. All these patients, they're scared, and when they're scared, they ask for her, because of course, like that implies that she would have been able to relieve that fear. She would have been a comfort to them. But we kind of get a darker aspect, which is that they feel like they've failed if they haven't been good experiments, and they say, oh, I promise to do good. That kind of implies to me that she was telling them, like, do good. You need to do this for me. You need to be good. We don't know why, what happened, but she seemed willing to be a little manipulative to get what she wanted from these experiments. So it must have been very important to her for these experiments to succeed. And yeah, that was her job, but maybe there's something more to it. I was thinking, when we got the brain fluid from Adeline and it said, we fail to realize our own latent potential until the moment it is lost, and we sense its absence. Ironically, this is the very nature of insight, like the moment one licks one's own blood only to be startled by its sweetness. I was kind of perplexed by that at first, but I think what it means is that the nature of insight, it's more of like the nature of the lack of insight, like the moment we lick our own blood and find it to be sweet. So it's like, oops, what I was pursuing didn't actually work, and in fact I am descending into beasthood instead of ascending into like kinship with the cosmos. And because this research hall was a part of the healing church. It was under Lawrence's command. It was probably using blood. We saw Adeline had like blood being pumped into her. It was using blood instead of insight. It was using blood and water to find these things. And so finding this on Adeline in her brain fluid is implying that she didn't really become what was intended. Neither did the living failures, even though they came close. What we can kind of assume so far is that what is intended is communion with great ones, but this didn't happen. Some things did happen. They gained new powers, and we gained like the Lumenwood Carol rune from it. Reading this on Adeline kind of implies that she was maybe not as enlightened as she could have been, or what they were intending. Okay, thank you for listening to all of that. Now let us continue. There's a little area over here with a very important lore item, and we're gonna go get it. Does he see me? Oh! Looks like he's wearing the decorated Old Hunter garb. That's just like blood. Cold blood over there. Oh! There's a little area back here. Gosh, I hope they're not following me. Nice. Okay, they're not following me. There's actually 2 items that I want to get in here. But we have to be careful. There's a guy over there. To my left. Good thing he can't hear me stomping around. Oh god. He has a saw spear and a gun! A Gatling gun. I wonder if his AI will forget about me and then oh my god, he's just going back to where he was. Gatling gun. This is a highly customized, portable version of the stationary Gatling gun operated by the Old Hunter Jura in Old Yharnam. It was the weapon of choice of the youngest of Jura's 3 companions. The Gatling gun boasts exceptional rapid-firing functionality, but is considered a cumbersome weapon due to its excessive weight and insatiable consumption of quicksilver bullets. There's, like old Yharnam monsters in here. Oh. I don't want to go too far in at the moment, because there's somebody in here. Some more bullets just in case. Do you see that? Oh no, blood-starved beast. Walking around. She coming. Oh my god, she's so big. Ah. You still flammable? This is doing nothing. Why is it not even hitting her? Hi, Sam the Proto Boy. Oh god. It's like going above her. Well. I got banned for trying to ask for help. Uh-oh, we're down here with her. Well, I'm doing kind of a lore playthrough, so I'm not really going to talk about like how to defeat bosses or anything like that. I'm mainly just going to talk about the story of Bloodborne. Oh god, where is she? But if I had advice on bosses, just become more familiar with their movesets, dodge under their right arm, most of them are right-handed, dodge through them rather than away from them. Okay, she's dead. Here it is. The amygdalan arm. Can we pick it up? Nope, it's probably too heavy. The arm of a small amygdala great one. Strictly speaking, the amygdalan arm is no trick weapon of any sort, but certain madmen wield them like clubs. Starts as a large, tough, blunt weapon formed of bone, but when extended, the hand quivers as if it were still alive. So it's just a like finger of one of those amygdalas. Let's go back. No, I can run past them. Why not? Watch me lose all my echoes. Not too bad. Let's go back and spend these, because we actually have another boss here, aside from the one in the fishing hamlet. See if you can guess who it is. We've already seen him, actually. Which one? Which one? TikTok human. The Our Lady doesn't have much time left. Any guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses? Any questions? Wait, is this... Okay. Yeah, we do have to go this way. This is the worst run back in the game. Oh no! Oh my god. Cool, we're down 2 blood vials already. No! Ooh! Get out of here, please. No, don't follow me, go away! Hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave. So because I have impurity on me, we actually have a summon sign here. I believe it's Mr. Guy. Let's see. It is, it's Walter. I don't know if I've done enough to progress his quest line. Should we summon him? Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. Then we can see how the whirligig saw works, because he uses it. Hi. What are you doing? Dude. Oh my god. Walter. Over here. Over here, Walter. Laurence, the first vicar. Oops. He's lost his entire lower half now. And he's just oozing fire. Oh god, I'm in the corner. Oh no. No, 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 no. No. Oh, I'm dead. Oh. Laurence. We finally found him. Oh, sorry, that was me. Who else would it be? You guys can't make noise. Laurence. Oh, wait, maybe before. I think he's not... I don't think fire's going to do anything to him, but... Bolt paper might... Oh! Point blank! Oh my god, no! Oh my god, no! See, worst run back. See, we're out 2 blood vials already. Oh, wait, patiently. Oh. Let me through. Cool. I love this for us. I wanted to talk about Laurence. So you'll notice, he is a reused Cleric Beast design. But I think they were running out of time with the DLC, and they were like, should we use a new design that we spend a lot of time making the rig for, and then we have like a half-assed fight, or should we reuse an asset and then have a good fight? And then they went for the latter, which I think was the better choice. But they never reuse assets without reason. Laurence was a cleric, so using the Cleric Beast is appropriate. One huge difference is that he's on fire. I think the burning of Old Yharnam was kind of a source of great guilt for a lot of these figures. Like Maria, when in her 3rd phase, her blood became fire. I think that was an exaggeration of the nightmare. I don't think her vile blood powers would allow her to, would actually like realistically make her blood turn to fire. I think that was also her guilt towards like the burning of Old Yharnam and the burning of a lot of beasts in general, fire being like very cleansing. But Laurence is absolutely like completely engulfed in flames because by the timeline, he's the one who gave the order to burn Old Yharnam. And so now here he is in what is essentially Hunter Hell, burning for all eternity. And then when we fight him, he loses his legs at one point, and then his inner core is leaking out, and it's all just magma, like liquid fire. Like there's nothing left of him. The reason he's attacking us now is because we have his skull, and if you remember, it says that it is something that he is destined to seek his skull, but even if he found it, it could never restore his memories. And at the beginning of the cutscene, when we approach him, he's reaching towards us. Like he's reaching towards his skull, but he doesn't remember anything. I also wanted to talk about, one of you mentioned a very long time ago, looking at the Cleric Beast design, that it was very like Wendigo in shape. And I wanted to go over a bit of Wendigo lore. It tends to be from like Native American and Canadian tribes from like the Algonquian language family. For America, it's like the Great Plains Native peoples in the Great Lakes region, and like East Coast Canada. It is believed that like a Wendigo is like a malevolent spirit that possesses a person, and how that comes to be is if that person is engages in cannibalism, or in some stories doesn't have to engage in cannibalism, but is just extremely like overwhelmingly greedy. And the symbolism of Wendigo doesn't have to apply just to people. It can also apply to movements. The greed will get you. It can also apply to like movements, and by some native peoples it's been used, Wendigo has been used as an allegory for like colonialism, excessive consumption, anything that throws the ecological system out of balance. It is an insatiable greed and hunger, and also excess. Like they can never be satisfied, so they're constantly consuming without retaining any of it. The antler design is actually kind of a European-American interpretation. Typically in native folklore, they tend to be like giants or more like human-shaped, but the antlers are kind of influenced by like European werewolves, where it's kind of that idea of like if something is supernatural, add animal elements to it. So deer antlers for the Wendigo. Let me find an actual description of the Wendigo's appearance. This is by Basil H. Johnston, an Ojibwe teacher and scholar from Ontario. The description is, the Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones. With its bones pushing out against its skin, its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean and suffering from suppuration of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. Suppuration is pus. So if we look at Laurence, he has gray skin. He has, you can see his ribcage. It is skin, but it's completely stretched over his form, so he is very Wendigo in shape. I think Bloodborne consciously and purposefully used symbolisms of the Wendigo for the church members, specifically to imply that greed and sort of that like social cannibalism, where they're not like literally eating people, though I guess the beasts are, but it kind of in that like capitalistic kind of way of eating people, consuming something to a point of throwing everything out of balance and bringing ruin upon a civilization. And Laurence being the head of that, it makes sense to portray him in this manner, which is why I'm totally okay with them reusing the asset. I think it's fitting for Laurence. In some tribes, it's said the Wendigo grows in size when it engages in cannibalism or greed, which also makes the sheer size of him telling. That's a good point. Yeah, in some, they grow in size due to, like, in proportion to everyone that they've consumed. And they also there are, like, auto-cannibalism. There's, like, one story where, I think it's from Chippewa, some people fight back and then they cut off the legs of the Wendigo, and then the Wendigo starts eating its own legs, which reminds me of the blood-starved beast ripping her own back open to get at her blood. But yeah, Laurence is huge. He towers over us. So it would indicate that he has consumed many, many people. Or that his church institution has. But I think the symbolism is appropriate for him. Thank you for feeding my love of the unique niche that that is indigenous horror. It's such a good niche. But yeah, I think they were purposefully using that symbolism, which is why some of these beasts have antlers like he does. He is kind of lupine in that he's furry, but like if you look at his face, it's a little more deer-like. So let's fight him again. Hope Walter comes help me instead of fighting that guy. Come on, Walter, let's go. Gotta have my warrior coffee before going in. my Hunter Joe. Body slammed him. When you summon someone, it makes the boss harder. So if Walter dies, then I'll be stuck with a harder boss. Mom, I threw up. Oh my god, he hits even harder in this form. Like he's growing desperate. That's what she said. You're not allowed. Oh no. Oh. They appear to have joined at a rather curious time. Yes, we found Laurence. And now I want to complete Walter's questline. But I'm wondering if it might be easier to handle him without summoning someone, because then his I want to get some more tools, because he's kind of hard. His health will be a little less. He is distracted by Walter, but, like, I might be able to do better damage on him if I don't summon. think fire paper is going to do anything for us. But we could probably give bolt paper a try. I like using the beast pellets, but I think we can also just purchase those with... No, we can't. Okay, I do have to use insight for it. That's okay, I am chock full of insight, and the most important thing I wanted in this entire game with insight was Gehrman's dialogue, which we already got. Now that Macabus is here, I did want to answer some of your questions, Macabus, and talk about what you talked about. You asked last stream if Maria woke up because we had insight, and no, she would have woken up no matter what. But I think that's a good question because it pointed out a parallel I had never actually seen between her and the doll before, which is that we find them both limp in form. And that we needed one insight to talk with the doll, technically. Needed one insight to even perceive that the doll was alive. And then, okay, he's fine. We needed one insight... No one's here. To perceive that the doll was alive, and so that was a good question to be like, oh, did we need at least one insight to perceive that Maria was actually alive? I don't know what happens if you were to ever encounter Maria with 0 insight. I think the cutscene might still play. It would be kind of hard to interact with her with 0 insight because you just fought a boss and you always gain insight for whatever boss you fight. So you would purposefully have to empty out all of your insight at the messenger bath by purchasing everything and then getting that to 0 and then interact with her, which I haven't seen and I don't know, but I would assume that the cutscene would still play. But I also pointed out an interesting parallel to me that we perceive both of these women as limp in form when we first see them, and that the doll, technically, I guess, we could do anything we wanted with her in her limp form, and that kind of makes me think of like the violence towards women and Gehrman's comment of like, you can use the doll if you want to, but then if you were to do that to Maria, she grabs you and like scares you, it jump scares you, and then kicks your ass. But it did point out that we find them limp at first, which was interesting to me. Just figured her dialogue was rather interesting, and thus there might be an insight threshold for some of the things she said. What she said was indeed very interesting. She says the same thing every time, but we actually, on text later, that changes how we perceive what she said. So it would actually be us in real life, our gamer insight. I guess we could try Vaulter again, and then I could like show you what the choir bell does. It's kind of cool. It heals all of us. Walter, he like looked at me and watched me. He was like, dude, you okay? That cracked me up, my god. He was like looking at me. He was like, Walter, please fight. I'm okay, believe me. Sorry, I don't know why that was so funny. Oh, I could use Choir Bell to heal us. Oh, I guess he wasn't close enough to me. Oh, death. Maybe we'll try without Vaulter. That might be easier. Because then all of his moves, I can just infer them to be aggressive towards me. Instead of being like, who's he gonna hit? Who's he gonna hit? Who's he gonna hit? I guess I can take this off. It's like, oh, well, he's always going to hit me. And I can count on that. My name is Mike, and you can count on it. Oh. Stop! Oh, I hate this run back. Billy Corgan, smashing pumpkins. Chess Albanese, waiting patiently. So these guys use church cannons sometimes, which makes me wonder, by Walter, if, remember when it said like the church cannons were for people who were like lesser of mind or whatever, and I'm like, what if like these guys used to be human? They're wearing like church clothes, so those might also be transformed humans. Let's go, McNasty. You might notice that the his theme music is very similar to the Cleric Beast. It has a lot more organ in it. Same composer. It's kind of like a variation. Oh my god. Oh god. That didn't go very well either. Let's try again. He's hard. Don't make that joke. I was about to be like, and so am I looking at him. And it's like, that's stupid. Don't say that. That's low-hanging fruit. Waiting patiently. Huh. Cool. We tend to do better with Walter.
He looks hard.
He is hard. I'm gonna try him one more time, this time with Walter again. And for a nap. I wish I could nap, but a hunter's work is never done. Garmin's in the dream, always napping. Maria's in the dream, napping as hard as you can. Maria's in the nightmare, napping as hard as you can, which is being dead. Everybody needs a nap. It's time to put Laurence down for a nap. Damn, okay. Oh, get me out of here. Oh no, stop, go away. Extreme napping. Taking for a forever nap in the forever box. Walter, come on. Come in here. You stepped on me. I'm dead. Okay. We'll come back. It's time to go fight an even harder boss. Hello, hello. Oh, good luck with Mr. Laurence. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, Phantomette. Oh. There's some people I wanted to check in on. We haven't been to Central Yharnam in a while. there's some people we need to check in on. Like, remember Gascoigne's little daughter? Let's see how she's doing. Let's also check in with Gilbert, see how he's doing. The blood moon has fallen. Phantom's like, oh, Phantom knows what's coming. Is it sad time? There's a monster here that's normally not here. And it dropped a rune. Claw mark. Gilbert's window is busted open from the inside, and there's a creature here that is normally not here. I remember when he said, "I even get to die human." It seems like he did not. Gilbert, my beloved. Yeah. I believe we get this clearer one from him. Carol rune that transcribes inhuman sounds. Clawmark is an impulse to seek the warmth of blood like a beast. It strengthens visceral attacks, one of the darker hunter techniques. Although the difference is subtle, Runesmith Carol describes the beast as a horrific and unwelcome instinct deep within the hearts of men, while Clawmark is an alluring invitation to accept this very nature. Wait, I don't feel like that's appropriate here. Poor Gilbert. You were a friend. A friend and boy. Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm so overleveled. Never mind. I don't need to sneak up anymore. Ooh, you have a goodie for me? Let's go check on Gascoigne's daughter. Get some bullets. Hopefully these people drop some blood vials. Blood vials? No. Okay. How do we get to Gascoigne's? I'm lost. Uh-oh,
Alright.
How do we get to Gascoigne's little daughter?
Turn around.
Up on the...
No, just turn around.
No, I know. Okay, now I remember. Remember when I was so afraid of you? Oh, good. Blood vials. Good. Blood vials. It's down here. Blood vial? Bullets. Bullets are good too. That's fine. Here she is. Okay, light is still on. Incense is still here, so that's probably a good thing, right?
You haven't by any chance seen my little sister, have you? I told her to look after the house, but she's run off somewhere. She's still quite small, and wears a big white ribbon. Have you seen her out there anywhere? Oh. Okay then. But if you do see her, would you give me word? She's a small girl, with a big white ribbon. My good little sister.
Okay, let's go looking for her then. You smacked me! Blood vial? Yeah, blood vial. Nice. These people were partying. What happened? Might have left or might be dead. Now if I were a little girl running around, I might head down into the sewers. The disrespect in that slap. I might come down here.
Is it sad time? No, this is Bloodborne. There's no sad times in Bloodborne. gonna be fine.
When has Bloodborne ever been sad?
It's gonna be fine.
There's another item here. A red ribbon that messengers are oddly fond of. The thick, pungent red was drawn from the organs of some unfortunate victim. A strange choice indeed, but perhaps for the messengers wearing this accessory constitutes a form of mourning. It was a little white ribbon, blood-stained. Let's go report our findings. Very bold of her to try to make it through the sewers of all places. But she is Gascoigne's kid. I have a feeling she won't take the news well. Well, this family's had a lot of tragedies befall them. In only one night. And yes, this is still all one night. We had time pass from evening to late night to the blood moon falling.
Oh. Back again. Any news of my sister? Oh. How did this happen? Why would she ever go outside? At least I'll have something to remember her by. What a perfect ribbon. And now it's mine. I can't wait to try it on. Oh, it's wonderful.
So people aren't doing very well here after the blood moon has fallen. Everyone has lost their minds. There was a part of her that still remembered, like, oh, I love my sister. But then when interacting with that object, she had kind of a questionable reaction. Everyone's losing it. Those tears didn't sound like crocodile tears to me. Yeah, I think she genuinely mourned her sister for a moment, but then, like, her mind is gone. So maybe it's, like, in her mourning of, like, she said, at least I'll have something to remember her by, and then, like, that mourning and affection towards that object became, like, infatuation with it. Let's get fishy. I wanted, another thing Maccabeus brought up. He brought up later to me that sunflowers are limited by their environment, not their genes. Perhaps the experiments are similar, where it isn't the individual that mattered, but rather their environment and nurturing that did. And we saw a bunch of sunflowers in the research hall, and I also looked up symbolism of sunflowers, typically based on, like, a Greek myth. In Western civilization, it's symbolized as loyalty and worship and adoration, which is kind of like, very churchy. But thinking about, like, specifically the quote Maccabeus said to me, DMing after the stream, was that it isn't the individual that mattered, but rather their environment and nurturing that did. It makes me think of Maria, like, especially blaming herself, that her methods were not working, and it wasn't the people she could fault, it was her own methods. and so she would especially be self-loathing. Why was it so important to her? There's a ladder up there, but we can't access it. Why was it so important to her for these experiments to go well? Kind of a fish-like creature. You can hear murmuring from inside houses. Two at once? Yes, please. Yes, this is very H.P. Lovecraft inspired, specifically Shadow over Innsmouth. Lovecraft obviously is a huge inspiration for this story, so much so that it tends to be like the biggest influence that people think, which was why watching Agony of Effort was so mind-bogglingly good, because it was like, actually, here's a bunch of poems by William Ernest Henley and some themes from Robert Louis Stevenson that are even more not coincident. I mean, wait, not coincidentally, purposefully having to do with Bloodborne. Let's get their attention. Oh, get away from me. So that's the accursed brew. That's what that does, is sends a bunch of purple skulls at people. But I don't have high enough arcane to do it myself. But apparently someone here does. Miyazaki takes inspiration from many places. It's rarely so simple as any one thing. That's true, and that's certainly true of Bloodborne as well. Don't do that. So here's a priest, like the friendly guy. Oh, I'm not going down there. Not yet. I'm not doing that. My entire heart went up into my throat. We're not doing that. Except for when he gets inspired by Zelda, because that's wholesale. Or Berserk. Where it's like, he tends to wear his inspirations on his sleeve. For this place, it is very Shadow over Innsmouth on purpose. Damn it. Those explode into fire, and I was trying to explode them. I thought I saw a St. Trina's lily and I wanted to pick it up. Wrong game. Hi. Glad we're both being awkward. What? He went through the stairs. Okay. That's not lore. I don't believe they can do that. That was cute. You have an interesting idea of what is cute. So if I hadn't killed this guy, he would have thrown a Molotov over at me when I was picking up that item, and then I would have exploded, because these are all explosive. But now that I've taken care of him, hopefully that doesn't happen. He bubble. They're all kind of making, like, wet sounds in their throats. And, like, that priest we were talking to, he was also kind of burbling wetly. Oh god, I'm not gonna mess with that. So that's a big dumb shark. They're the worst. Is the black sky eye any good at damaging enemies? Is it good for harassing them? Not really. Is it good for harassing them? Yes. Well, if my arcane was higher, then it would be good. It would be very good for damaging enemies, but I'm not an arcane build. My character Mavanwi is, who is the woman. I do want to get caught by this guy because the grab animation is really funny. Grab me. It's very funny. Alright, fine. We'll do it later. Harrowed hood, harrowed garb, harrowed gloves, harrowed trousers. Certain church hunters today's word of the day is moist. Certain church hunters obfuscate their identities and slip into the nooks and crannies of the city. This is the garb that allows these harrowed individuals to go unnoticed. These hunters are keen to early signs of the scourge, serving as a first line of defense against its outbreak. Or perhaps, when the time is ripe, they find signs of the scourge where there are none. It just goes to show the corner beggar is not always who he seems. That is also the same description, I believe. Look familiar. This is Simon's outfit. There's our lantern over there. No, I don't want to be back here. This moment brought to you by my partner making coffee. A spear thrower. Fish dogs. Dogfish. Dogfish. Let's just run past them. Is that who I think it is? It's Simon.
I'm afraid I've made a botch of things. Oh, I can hear the bell now. The beast-eyed assassin. He's after me. Again. And again. It never ends.
Please. I need you to do something. This village is the true secret. Testament to the old sins. It feeds this hunter's nightmare. Please. Bring to an end the horror. So our forefathers sinned. We hunters cannot bear their weight forever. It isn't fair. It just isn't fair.
He breaks my heart when he says it never ends, and when he says it isn't fair. Like he's been subject to suffering for a very long time in a cyclical kind of nature. But we gained Simon's bowblade and an underground cell inner chamber key. Simon's bowblade, I'm not able to wield it because, as you see, I don't have enough blood tinge. R.I.P. Simon. Yeah. Simon's bowblade. This is how we know his name is Simon. Which is not a huge spoiler. I've been calling him Simon. But this is how we find out, if we were playing the game for the first time, that this character's name is Simon. Choice of weapon of Simon, one of the first healing church hunters. So he was a healing church hunter, so he worked with Ludwig. He was after Gehrman. Simon despised firearms, and so the church workshop had this specially crafted to his liking. The large curved blade serves as a bow when transformed, and you guys have seen me use this with Yatsek's playthrough. But aside from a few close friends, Simon was scoffed at for his choice of arms, for who would dare face the beasts with a measly bow? But as you saw me wield it, it's actually pretty powerful. It's a great, it's one of my favorite weapons in this game. We also got the underground cell inner chamber key to the inner chamber of the cell below the Grand Cathedral. The innermost chamber of the underground cell holds a lone madman. He wears a beast hide and rings a bell that emits no sound. We know exactly who that is. We don't know his name yet, but you guys know who this is. Unending death awaits those who can hear the soundless bell. And we couldn't hear it. Wait. Quiet for a moment. I'm going to turn my mic off. I thought I heard the bell for a second. There's some goodies over here that I want to grab real quick. Just a bunch of fish, maybe? Some white figures. This is back where we were. See all those dead bodies. And that's the well. We will visit that later. So there's that big dumb shark right there who I want to attract no attention from. Let's see if we can continue. Another sunflower and a gravestone. Here. What is that? It's a coast. We've heard about coasts and coasts. What is this? Is that the bell? There he is. The Beast-Hide Hunter. Blocking? He's come for me too, because I am pursuing knowledge and the secret. Bloodied armbands. Oops. Bloodied armbands. Brador donned a compatriot's beastly scalp and hide while still moist with blood. Most of the bloodstains on this hide were from that day. Brador. Could that be who attacked us? I have a feeling he's going to continue to be a problem unless we take care of this right now. Let's go visit him in his underground cell. I kept having dreams about how I wanted to level up the church pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Right now we've emptied our pockets again. Let's go visit our friend Brador and see if we can end his tomfoolery. I say tomfoolery when he fucking killed Simon. Let's go avenge Simon's death in Simon's clothes, like some vengeful spirit. Don't need that. Will use Beast Roar on him, I think. I'm coming for you. Get me out of here. Uh-oh, corner. Uh-oh, I'm in a corner. How am I alive? I don't think I can knock him down. Because of his, he took, lead potion or whatever it's called. So his poise is very good. Fought you once, I'll do it again. Brador's testimony. The scalp of a horrible cleric beast, indicating that Hunter Brador, a healing church assassin, had killed a compatriot. Afterward, he wore his ally's own scalp and hid himself away deep below in a cell. The church provided him with a single soundless spell of death to ensure their secrets would be kept. That's what that looks like. A lot of people think that Brador was the one who put Laurence down, because this headset, you see one horn is shorter than the other, and that's what Laurence had going on too. So a lot of people think that Brador is the one who killed Laurence in the real world. I have your keys, sir. I use antlers in all of my fashion choices.
Look who's here. Welcome to my quarters. I've never entertained a guest before. Are you going to kill me? After all you've done, kill me? As if to right your wrongs. What is it? Aren't you going to kill me? Or perhaps beg my forgiveness? Well, leave off. What's done is done. What is it? Or perhaps, well...
Well, you killed Simon, so...
Nothing changes. Such is the nature of man.
He got his weapon. Oh! No, put the church pick back. Bloodletter. The demented hunter weapon brandished by Brador, the healing church assassin. The bloodletter assumes its true and terrifying form after it draws upon blood from the inner reaches of one's body and soul. This is the only effective means of expelling tainted blood, or so Brador, isolated in a cell, continued to believe. So it seems like that was kind of how he was healing himself and keeping himself from turning into a beast, was by bloodletting. I feel like that the bloodletter, of course, makes me think of bloodletting, the practice of removing tainted blood, a European practice that would, more often than not, it would kill people rather than healing them. His laugh goes keh instead of haha, he's evil. But he won't be a problem for us anymore. It's not a problem anymore. But I like that little reference to the practice of bloodletting, which was another horrifying Western medical thing. There were a lot of them. Early medicine was not pleasant, but it's entertaining how often they used the wrong reasoning to find the right answers. A little back area here. Doesn't open. Mountains in the distance. Kind of an isolated little place. There's also an important lantern over here and a door here. Does not open. I'm a fancy little deer boy. Alright, he didn't invade us because we took care of the problem. Bullets, of course. A big pile of shells. Not really a cairn like the ones we saw, but almost more like they're harvesting a bunch of... Oh, goodbye. A bunch of these little slug-like beings on the ground, and what look like also eggs, possibly. Disgusting. You gotta stop that. You have an item, so... Looks like they're working. It looks like they are... Yeah, he's like harvesting from these shells. Oil. He had oil with him, like he's using it actively to aid in harvesting that. The slugs are kind of cute. They are kind of cute, actually. Real slugs are kind of cute, too. They're just little guys. This is the back area. Oh! Bet we can sneak up on those lightning guys if we use this. That one's facing away from me, but this one is facing towards me, so I think I'm going to go for this guy. Oh, he saw me anyway, somehow. That guy hasn't, though. Wonder if it's like one person doing all the creature noises, or if they hired a bunch of people. That'd be such a fun thing on your resume. Okay, there's nothing down there, so I'm not going to bug them. I did all the gurgling that they needed for Bloodborne's fishing Hamlet DLC. Oh, there's an item here. It was a trap. Bunch of slug ladies. Bet you this is a trap too. They jump very high. Oh. Are they following me from behind? They better not be. I hear another one coming at me. Kind of hard to hit because they're on the ground. Bloodied trousers. Oh, I'm not wearing pants now. Don't pay attention to that. Bloodied trousers. Bloodied foreign trousers. Brador donned a compatriot's beastly scalp. So these are Bradors. I'd love a behind the scenes with a fully artistic game like this. Yeah, that'd be cool. I know they use some like MIDI libraries though. D. Bradley Baker's career is built on making animal noises and animation. That's so fun. And then Lead Elixir. This is, if I hadn't killed Brador previously, this is where he would have invaded again. There's pieces of him everywhere. Try to avoid the accursed brew that they're flinging at me. But yeah, this is good for getting people's attention, but and doing more damage than a pebble. But because I'm not an arcane build, it doesn't do much else than that. Oh, she dropped a blood gem. Interesting. Those skeletons? Yeah, there's like bodies in the wall. Is that bodies? No, it's like roots. Root structure, possibly. What? I've never seen that before. There was one up there? Natural structure looks like mangled bodies. It's cool. Let's go down. What did that say? Cursed. Cursed kin hunter. These are indicative of a curse, but this gem's malicious effects are perfect for bolstering certain types of weapons. Heard a curse uttered, descending into ominous holes. Seems to have worked out. There's some items down here, but I want to ensure safe passage back. Lots of kin cold blood, which of course is connected to the cosmos. Alright, we've got a way back. I wanna run and get something real quick. It will require having very high resistance to frenzy. I discovered the other day that actually the Eileen's beak mask has higher frenzy resistant than Jura's hat. Why didn't I equip a sedative? Blood Rock, yeah, second one in the game. You gotta stop that. I might die. Stop. I can't jump. This is not the game where I can do that. Oh my god, I'm about to die. Oh my god, how am I alive? Good thing I leveled up in life last time. They're so hard to hit, come on. Oh my god. Forget you, I'm leaving. None of you are any fun anymore. Let's equip a sedative if I can. Please. Oh. Stop, I hate you all. Well, we got another blood rock. That's what I wanted. Oh no. There's a very important item that I want to get, but it includes a very difficult battle. Should I do it honorably or cheese it? Both are kind of hard. I don't want to do this fight, but we do have to get that item. We'll try it honorably first. You got this, we believe in you. You shouldn't. I've never actually done this fight. Better physical defense. Putting on the best armor I can. What I look like, I don't care. I do not care what I look like at the end. I just need to be protected. Alright, this is the look, I don't care. But I was here for the fashion. I still look pretty good, I think. Get ready with me, Bloodborne edition. I'm so not ready for this. Oh my god, my heart is in my throat. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird things at the bottom. Do you see that behind me? It's a shark. Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh. No, I hate this. I'm scared. No, I hate this. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. We're gonna cheese it. We're gonna cheese it. But then I have to get through 2 winter lanterns. Oh, no. I hate this. Oh, no. Oh, no. I hate this. I hate this. But it's very important. Just lower my insight a little bit. If it doesn't go well, I'll just show you the item on a different game file. Please have it available, thank you. I'm dead. Somehow this is going to be easier than dealing with the sharks, though. Try that again. Oh, I should probably wear my... There's runes that increase frenzy resistance. Another one over there. One down. I want to be full health. There's another one coming. Stay behind this to block sight. Alright, she doesn't fully come out here. Somehow this is easier than battling those sharks. God. even just looking at her. Please decrease. Why is it still going up? Fine, let's do this. Oh, God. I'm alive. How? Would you feel cheated if I just told you what I was trying to get and then we read the item description on a different game file? Would you feel cheated? Do you want to see me fight those guys, fight those lanterns, and then cheese? It's okay, don't stress yourself out. Okay. So, I'm sure you can do it. Well, I would be like whipping them from a safe space for like 10 minutes. I will show you what we would gain from killing both sharks. So, most important thing is, we gain this item from a well, from the bottom of a well, at the fishing hamlet. You can only get it from, I'm holding it right now, actually. Look familiar? We gain the Rakuyo, Maria's weapon, from the bottom of a well. Hunter weapon wielded by Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower, a trick sword originated in the same country as the Canehurst Chikage, only this sword feeds not off of blood, but instead demands great dexterity. Lady Maria was fond of this aspect of the Rakuyo, as she frowned upon blood blades, despite being a distant relative of the Queen. But one day, she abandoned her beloved Rakuyo, casting it into a dark well when she could stomach its presence no longer. This is a very important lore item. So we've confirmed that the Rakuyo and the Chikage are from the same place. It's from Fantasy Japan, or like the land of the East, far away in Fantasy Bloodborne. This is not a blood blade. Maria seems to kind of not like blood blades. She seems to enjoy the dexterity and the fact that this requires high skill to wield it. Something happened, something that made her feel grief and evil, if we remember the lyrics of her fight. Something happened where she abandoned her weapon, cast it into a well, and could stomach it no longer. I think, timeline-wise, she was a hunter for a long time, and then she got rid of her weapon. Something happened that caused her to not be able to stomach the hunt anymore. She was deceived, if we remember her lyrics, deceived hunter. She got something out of an event that she was not expecting. It turned her stomach so much that she gave up hunting entirely, and then she retired to the research hall where she was experimenting on patients and trying to achieve something, but she never became a hunter again. It seems like it was a reminder of someone or something. The Rakuyo? It could be. It could be a reminder of her role in the hunt, but something happened where she could stomach her actions no longer, and she doesn't want us to find out about it, which is why she says, "I know the secrets beckon so sweetly," and then she offers to kill us. But we found that at the bottom of the well because it was tossed in there. I like Maria's outfit. We'll wear it. Guess we're gonna see firsthand what made her give up hunting. Yes. Let's actually go see that right now. Because there was something else down there. Down in this direction. My light on? Yeah, but it's just very dark down here. Why is it so dark? bunch of these snail ladies out of their shells, praying in the same direction. It's time. There's so many of them, all praying in one direction. Pay attention, Daniel. There's that body we saw from way up there. Looking down, we saw this body, beached, white, almost jellyfish-like body on this shore. There's that broken sun, very similar in appearance to the Astral Clock Tower. They're not hostile. Get a better look at their faces. Maybe you can see that a little bit. They're murmuring, they're praying. They look like they have, like, phantasms wrapped around them and infecting them. So this is going to be the rest of the stream, right? We'll see how it goes. We have Laurence to defeat as well. Orphan of Kos. I guess we can assume that this dead body it just emerged from was Kos. If you listen to the music, it's very mournful. Sunken ships out here. It's just gazing out to the ocean. Before we move on, fun fact about the cry we just heard in the cutscene. We had a little bit of a baby cry and then it interspersed with a low-pitched sob that might sound familiar to you. It's a reused asset, which FromSoft never reuses an asset without it meaning something. Or at least Miyazaki doesn't. It was Gehrman's sob that they reused and pitched down. And because they never reuse an asset without it meaning something, we can assume Yharnam is deeply tied with this being. too early. Dead, I think. I'm gonna read the comments real quick. Rarsas was asking if the being inside Kos's body was like a person who was infected. It is very human in shape, but I think because it's called the Orphan of Kos, most people interpret it as it really is her Great One child. But it is interesting that he is very human in shape. You were literally just born. How are you so powerful? Do I need more lore to understand? I think his name Orphan of Kos kind of implies that he is a child of her. He was born from her. We saw him emerge from her fishy womb. He's also, the weapon he's using is a placenta, essentially, or like a piece of an umbilical cord or something. You can't really see this when he's moving so fast, but it's actually wrapped around like his arm, and it is attached to his belly button. So he is born of her. But it is kind of shocking that he is human-shaped. These Great Ones are perhaps not so different from humans, after all. And being that this is a nightmare, you're saying like, bro, you were literally just born, how are you so powerful? It's in my interpretation, when the hunters found this child on the shore, and Gehrman and Maria were here, as we've pieced together the evidence. When this child was found, it was not a big, scary, wizened man-shaped thing, but it was a baby. Totally unsupported theory here. I like the idea that the Great Ones shape their children consciously, which is why they're all so different. This would have had a human because she's hanging around human a lot. Possibly. It's a nightmare. Probably didn't look like this before. I think it was. I think the orphan was baby-shaped, like an actual helpless child. And then, based on that statue we saw, Willem and Bergenworth probably came in, found this beached body, grabbed the orphan, and experimented on it. Killing it in the process. But this was very important to the people of the fishing hamlet, which is why they're praying for him. Oh, that's typically more how the fight goes, actually. Just getting caught in combos. Let's try, I want to try Laurence again, actually. But another reason I think Maria is the host of the nightmare, this hunter nightmare, is that the pattern so far has been we kill the host and then we kill the Great One who is in charge of the dream, which would be the final boss in Nightmare of Mensis that I showed you guys with the baby carriage, but we didn't fight them yet. Of course she is. Yeah, I think it's very Maria-centric, and the Great One we've met that is in charge of the hunter's nightmare, it seems, is that Orphan of Kos, which some people think is is more of actually a manifestation of Kos herself, or it could be the orphan, the child, the poor wizened child, reincarnation through reproduction. Possibly, or I'm thinking more of like Kos's consciousness. Her body was killed, but her consciousness is pissed at what happened. And so her consciousness in that nightmare has taken the form of that orphan on a summon vaulter because we were having better luck. with him. But it seems like the people of the fishing hamlet are very saddened by what happened to the child. Walter, this way, please. I would love to just use a beast blood pellet and then immediately die. You can't summon for the orphan unless you're online. There's no NPCs, so I have to handle him alone. But we'll take Laurence out, hopefully. No, let me step into every single attack he's doing. It's all part of the plan. We'll try again. Let's go out to a drag show. Let's work all day. Wake up early, work all day, go out to a drag show, and then fight the hardest bosses the next day. Wah, wah, wah. Game is hard. Fun game is hard. What a hard life I have. Fun game is hard. Let's try again. Let's try one more time and then I might call it. I'm kind of tired today. Dark Souls taught me anything, it's that really big bosses covered in fire are always a pain. And apparently little bosses, little babies who hold their placentas in their hands are also a pain. It's the first rule of Dark Souls. A human-sized, human-shaped boss is always scarier than any monster. It's true. Saw those memes that are like, big monster. Okay, let's do this. Hunter in a field. Oh, fuck. Okay, not too bad. Walter's gonna die, Walter's gonna die, Walter's gonna die, Walter's dead. Walter died, Walter's dead. Oh, were you shitting? Try one more time. Unlike you, Laurence, I always come back. But I'm also in a corner. Thank you, Walter. Get him, Walter. Get him, Walter. I am highly flammable. He is highly flammable, dude. Get from, yeah, get him. Visceral. Oh, I missed it. Let's go, Walter, come on. Walter, you're so handsome in your bucket helmet. Let's go. Come on, Walter. Don't die on me now. Let's get him, Walter. We got this, Walter. Walter's dead. Oh, God. It's just so hard to get close to him. Beast's Embrace. Ah, we did it. Yay! Thank you for your encouragement. Nerd. Lockered. I wanted to come back here for the Beast Embrace because, like the milkweed, it's another interesting thing. It says temporarily boost to transform plus 15. So plus 15 beast pellet effectiveness. Assume the form of ghastly beast. After repeated experiments in controlling the scourge of beasts, the gentle embrace rune was discovered. When its implementation failed, the embrace became a forbidden rune, but this knowledge became a foundation of the healing church. Those who swear this oath take on a ghastly form and enjoy accentuated transformation effects, especially while wielding a beast weapon. Something happened. Let's get a mirror. Oh, is there something on my face? My arms, too. This is what the hunter we fought looked like, who was very bestial in form and had a bunch of beast pellets radiating off of them. When I'm all dressed up like this, I look like Beauty and the Beast. I look like the Beast when he's about to dance with Belle. You look like Ron Perlman in the bad Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, I look like Beauty. I look like the Beast. But yeah, that's what we gained from Laurence. So it seems like Laurence was kind of flirting with embracing beastliness, which is we've kind of already known that from how he didn't fear the old blood and was okay using the old blood even though Willem warned against it. Like Icarus, he flew too close to the sun and became a horrible beast himself. I think we have enough to level up. Shall we rock the beast look for a little while?
Very well, let me start.
Or skill. See if she has anything new.
Hunter,
No.
sense
She doesn't care about Lawrence's death.
farewell.
I am a very gentle, beautiful beast. Yep. Who runs into walls. I think I'll end it here. Next time, we've got the Orphan of Kos to deal with, and we'll see if we can knock that out. And then there's plenty more to do. We still got whoever's in charge, whatever great one is in charge of the Nightmare of Mensis. And then that should be it, right? Is it? Is that the end of the game? We'll see. But thank you for tuning in. Thanks so much for the stream. This was a fun one. I'm glad. I'm sorry I struggled so much on these bosses, but they're a bit harder this time around. I hope it was still entertaining to watch, even when I was failing. That'll be very important for next time when we tackle the orphan, but the intent of the next stream is to definitely put the orphan to rest. Poor thing. But thank you guys for tuning in. This was very fun. I'm glad. Bye! See you next week.